Hey guys, it's David with Peabody'sParadise.com, and I don't know if you can see me right now. Let's see. Hopefully that's good. Hopefully. We'll just go with it. It is Tuesday, and it is hot out here. I'm sweating. As you can see, I'm dressed, my farmer tan. I just wanted to talk real quickly about some people that have been running a little smack on some of the forums online and whatever. And just some trash talking generally, and if people are gonna hate, that's cool. I really don't have time for it, and I got my life to live, so I don't stress. It's all good either way. I don't have time for it. I just like to think about what Abraham Lincoln famously said at the Battle of Gettysburg in front of about 90,000 men. He said, haters gonna hate, so, that's how I feel about it too. But just let them go with it. So, I don't know, but I'm not going to call them on it. I'm not going to name any names or whatever. Y'all know who you are, and you're probably subscribed to me because I know y'all can't get enough. So, but what I wanted to address specifically was just some of the trash talking that was going on. Not really the trash itself, but just some of the misconceptions that people have about, us and just what we do in general. People seem to be really misinformed with, with what is going on, and that's fine if you don't really understand it. You don't have to, but if you're gonna talk crap about it or whatever, then please at least know what you're talking about, because it just makes you look ignorant. So but yeah, some of the misconceptions, like people were just like, oh well, you buy from these people with all the tanks and the greenhouses and all this stuff, or these people from farms or whatever, then you're dealing with a company that doesn't have a face to it or whatever. It's like this thing, this entity that is not real or whatever. But I mean, I know, speaking for myself, and then also I can say for the few other people that I know that are in this business that that I know or that I'm friends with, we're real people. Most of us are hobbyists that have just kind of taken it to the next level. So we're at a place where a lot of other people are at right now, or a place where a lot of people want to be, and I guess that's where a lot of the hate comes from. But I can tell you that for the most part, most of us get along with each other. And with me, and I know with some of my other friends that do this, they still have full-time jobs, or they have other things that they do also. Like I work full-time on top of this, so this is really just my hobby just kind of expanded into an actual business. But we don't hate on each other. I don't really look at it as that whenever somebody else sells something over me or in front of me, whatever, man. I mean, as long as people are getting a good deal, I really don't care. It's not taking food out of my family's mouth or nothing like that. I mean, I take care of my family by working a full-time job, and it's not this, at least not for now, until we build up and we get. But even then, for me, it's really, the bottom line comes down to the hobby, and I just really want to provide good quality plants to people that are affordable, and you're not getting ripped off with jacked up shipping prices and everything else. The reason for the greenhouse is I'm mainly because I'm using the sun, because we live in Florida, so we've got way too much sun here, and it's free. The sun is free, and it's a lot cheaper than me running all of my lights inside on the racks and stuff. And what that pretty much comes down to is cheaper plants, ultimately. So it helps me keep my costs lower. And with this setup, I mean, once I expand it more, it'll be a little bit more evident. But my intention is to get these plants in and actually grow them out, and then just take, and almost be like a mini farm where I'm growing, and just what I'm doing is basically giving you trimmings the same way that I would out of a tank. And I know where you're at. These people that talk about how bad farms are or whatever, or this kind of growing is. I was there. I'm still there in a way, and I've sold plants out of my tanks, just trimmings and everything else for years now. I mean, most of you guys know me on the different forums because I'm just, my face is plastered everywhere now, and has been for several years. So everybody, just chill out. Um, the other thing is, um, as far as growing outside, it's not a whole lot different than growing inside. Yeah, I mean, you're susceptible to nature, but greenhouse growing is very confined. Like you know, I keep fish in these tanks also, and so there's not just random diseases and parasites floating. It's not like we just go out to a pond and just start pulling stuff out of it from some random waterway. I mean, this is a controlled environment, and it's not a whole lot different than just having, a garage or a fish room that just has access to open air and light. Um, it's a lot harder to control, algae and whatever because you have so much sunlight, but that's part of the challenge, and so far we've been doing really good with that. So whatever, I really some of the other misconceptions that people have brought up are just like, oh well, you're growing this stuff above water, and we put it in our tanks below water and all this stuff. Um, well, I mean, the biggest reason for that, number one, no algae. There's no algae on a lot of our immersed plants, and we do have a lot of submerged plants too. But on our immersed stuff, the reason why we grow it that way is number one, that's how we get it. So it's a lot easier for us to just continue it and keep it nice and healthy for people. But also, it's just the easiest way to do it. To get a really good healthy product. Whenever you're going submerged, there's just so many different challenges that you have to face. Between making sure there's enough carbon in the water to fertilizers and all that stuff. It can be difficult on a big scale, and that's why um, most of your farms don't really do that. I don't like sending stuff to people knowing it's gonna shed leaves, but a lot of it doesn't, and it just depends on the way people set it up. Not everybody runs aquariums. A lot of people are running different vivariums and paludariums and all this other stuff, so they want the immersed grown stuff, and you know and the other reasons why I mentioned that's just why we do it. What else? Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to have no drama with anybody. I really, you know, it's to me personally. I think that it's just not worth it. Um, so I'm just not part of it. I'm not gonna play around at all with that, and I just don't have time for it. I got too many other things to do between being a full-time parent, full-time job, and this full-time. So, so I really have very little time to deal with anything else. Some of the benefits to buying from somebody like us that's growing, or works with farm stock or whatever, is that you get more variety. We have like nearly 100 types of plants going right now. Not all of them for sale yet, but and we should have more eventually also as we expand. That's the number one reason. The number two reason why you could go through us is, it's cheaper. Ultimately, it's cheaper than buying locally. You're not going to beat our prices locally most of the time unless you get a hookup from somebody or from a store, which is rare for them to have this big of a variety.